Hello everyone, Planty and John here.
Hi guys, we've got a massive announcement to make. We're doing our first live show this year. What films are we talking about?
2001's Shrek, John. The OG.
The OG. R.E.
Very good. Yes, indeed. It's an all-ages show at Carlisle Megacon on August 17th, which is Carlisle's premier nerd gathering with over 40 stalls, gaming, cosplay, and really handsome podcasters.
Do I have to watch my language then?
Nah, it's fine, mate. There'll be other Scottish people there. We'll get subtitles for the English.
That's Megacon at Richard Rose Academy, Carlisle, on the 17th of August from 12 noon. It's £5 a ticket, and that includes seeing Beautiful Us.
And my brilliant Scottish accent. Ugh, donkey!
Aye, right. Jesus Christ. Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Massey, Gormley, Gallagher, Finnegan, Doyle, Ball, O'Hearn and Arkins. We're looking at 1991's The Commitments.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, my name's Planty, and I'm a malignant little bastard.
And I'm the other guy who is not Irish, just so you know.
You never will be with that attitude.
I know, with that accent.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. John, how are you?
I'm alright, mate. It's taps off weather outside. I'm looking at that big ball in the sky in Scotland, so everybody's trying to throw spears at it, but...
The big ball in the sky that burnt my bonds today while I was working out in the sun. So it's caps and for me for Jesus the remainder Christ. Of the summer, I think, with my big bald red head, which matches my forest shirt.
You look like a match.
But this week we are not on our own, John. No, I know this is coming as a surprise to you because you're not looking at the monitor where the other two people are, and you haven't already said good evening to them. But we are joined by long-term podcast pals and semi-regular collaborators, Mono and Ciara from MonoRants at the Movies. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
You's all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's kind of tops off weather here, but I'm still in a dressing gown.
As always, mate. As always.
Exactly.
Just a little bit of a look behind the curtain, listeners. It's 2 p.m. and Mono's in his dressing gown.
Every time I see Kate Beckinsale in that sexy latex suit, I always think of him with that bloody...
the Batman dressing gown.
Aye.
Makes it hard to rub it out now, doesn't it?
Exactly, aye. It's a tough one, but you still get there.
It's a challenging one, but the beard does it for me. He's the Batman dressing gown and the Ra's al Ghul beard. It's certainly a look. There's no doubt about it. Mono, Ciara, tell us about your podcast. Everyone that listens to this knows because we shout you out every week, but tell the listeners.
Well, we have two. We have MonoRants The Boys, where we talk about Amazon's superhero TV show The Boys, and all of its various spin-offs and whatnot. And we also have MonoRants The Movies, where we talk shit films, the type of shitty films you've seen at house parties, but we love anyway.
A lot of films we probably couldn't cover, but a couple that we have.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done Starship Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've done The Crow. You've done The Crow, right?
No,
No,
but
we
it
haven't
will
done The
eventually
Crow.
get done.
You did
Yeah.
Spawn. That was
We
it.
did
Oh,
do
yeah.
You
Spawn.
did Spawn, which
That was...
That's the caliber that you're looking at with us.
Yeah, but that's, you know what, that's the kind of movies that both me and John absolutely
Love it.
enjoy.
Honestly, love it.
But we don't tend to foist those upon you because every week you're doing it. So. But The Boys is coming back soon.
Yes.
Series 3, Series 4?
Series 4.
Series 4, okay.
So
And we've
it'll be following on from season 3 and season 1 of Gen V.
Gen V was great, wasn't it? Gen V was very, very good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all had a great time there. Go away and listen to that, listeners, because it's loads and loads of fun. The film ones are my favourites, but that's usually because I forget to listen to the Boys ones until about 8 weeks after I've finished watching The Boys, and then I've forgotten everything that's happened anyway by then. But the film ones, it's usually films I've seen about 3 or 4 times. Except for Kate Beckinsale in her leather, which I've never managed to make it all the way to the end.
What?
I usually get about 10 minutes in, funnily enough.
To
and then
the tickly bit.
But John, you went on. You went on.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it, and we were going to do more, but yeah, we just. I think the first
we'll
one's
have you
the
back
best.
for Underworld too.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get a rise for the lichens. Is that what you're saying?
No, the lie cheese, man. Like,
If you like what we do, listeners, please give us a quid a month and we will shout you out on the podcast. We're also giving people the chance to pick a film, and historically we've asked people to vote in a film of the month, but starting this month when we get our shit together, we are going to randomise all of the patrons, including Mono and Ciara, who pay us, and one of you will get the opportunity to pick the actual film of any film that you want. So it could be, I don't know, fucking Das Boot, right? If you wanted it to be, please.
God, the Widowmaker.
You are going to get some seriously shit films to go with. Like dreadful
We
films.
have some fucking garbage.
It'll be like Human Centipede 2.
Oh God, no.
A Serbian film.
Yeah.
Robo-Geisha?
Manitou.
What's that one that's like 10 hours of paint drying?
It's like 32 hours.
Oh God.
There was the
Yeah.
crowdfunded one where he made however much it cost for them to watch a minute. He made like a movie that cost that much or cost that ran that length of time, which is why it's paint drying.
Right.
Or blue.
Change of plan. It's Monster May. I don't know. But this week, Mono and Ciara, you picked the film that you brought to us, and it's something semi-local, question mark. It's not a million miles away. It's about a couple of hours up the road. What did you pick?
Commitment.
Yeah,
The
The
Commitments.
Commitments. Fantastic. First time I'd ever seen this, by the way.
Really?
Never seen it.
I thought
Never
it'd be
seen
your
this.
jam. I thought you'd love it.
It absolutely is. It's just
Dublin
one of
Soul,
those
big man. Dublin
that I
Soul.
kept missing. It's one of those that just kind of passed me by, in spite of the fact that I've seen at least one of the other of the
trilogy.
of the Barrytown trilogy. Yeah. But yeah, I had such a good time with this. I absolutely loved this, and it was an absolute pleasure watching it twice as well, which it isn't always when John picks.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thank you.
So we'll get talking about this. We'll go through some facts. If you do like what we do, give us a quid. You can do that at 100 things. You can do that at patreon.com/100 things, or you can go to 100 things we learn from film.co.uk, where you'll find all of our links and socials and all that kind of shit. All right. Fantastic. Reach out to us like Mono did, and we've been pals ever since. It's been great. It's been fantastic. Although that was about the Simpsons podcast.
For you.
Yeah, John's had to go on other podcasts. Bearing in mind, John doesn't go on other podcasts. That's a real treat for you, John.
No,
John does not.
Is that silky smooth Irish accent? I thought you were.
John has flat out refused to go on Punk's podcast for a year and a half now. So, credit where it's fucking due. Okay. Let's away and get started then. So, we open with this market, which I absolutely loved. This market. Yeah. There's loads of shit going on. There's a lad selling an old toilet seat. Some kids buying racing pigeon, question mark?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah, racing pigeons are really big in city centre. Probably the same in England, where people breed and raise pigeons.
Northeast of England, very popular, and the west coast of Cumbria, where I live, very, very popular. So much so that our new local radio station has a specific section on a Friday night dedicated to racing pigeons. There's pigeon news. I'll send you a link to the website so you can listen at 7 o'clock on
dirty pigeons
on a Friday night if you've got nothing else to do.
Did you notice the boy in is it Candy?
Boy, did I. That Liverpool, that Adidas
stuck right out.
Silver and red Liverpool shirt. Mwah, absolutely beautiful. Loved that. Probably more than I absolutely should, but it's kind of my childhood.
Me as well.
That shirt.
Yep. I never had a Hoover. I never had one like it.
1988-89 season, that one. I found one, an original, in XL on eBay for 399 quid,
Bloody
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Candy are an Italian company that make appliances, founded in 1945 in Monza, and they own Hoover.
Yep.
Yeah, the vacuum company, not the character on stage in that episode of Spaced. The director, by the way, Alan Parker, the musical film king.
One of my favourites. That's, by the way, Pink Floyd's The Wall changed my life. It really did. It really did. I was right in about the time I started taking drugs, so it's perfect. Perfect timing for me, man.
That makes a lot of sense. You're right. You've got your Fames, your Pink Floyd's The Walls, your Evitas, And your Bugsy Malone.
Oh God, yeah.
Popular guy.
Oh yeah.
Bugsy Malone is just like one of those weird fever dream movies
Oh,
as well.
absolutely.
As a kid, it was good, but when you look at it,
Yeah.
that was just somebody's indulgence, wasn't it? It's just too weird.
Yeah.
Alan Parker died in the year 2000 when he was shot to death with custard pies at Fat Sam's. Roddy Doyle's the writer, of course, writer of 3 novels in the 80s and 90s to make up the Barrytown trilogy we've already mentioned. He won a Booker Award in 1993 for Paddy Clark, ha ha ha. And he's also responsible for Dougal calling Ted a big bollocks.
Did you watch the rest of the trilogy, Snapper? Because I watched that when I was...
I've never seen Snapper, but I saw the van
great.
at college in the
Yeah.
cinema,
It's grim.
pre-release.
Proper grim, innit?
A lot of fun. It's made me always question when I'm getting a fish if it's always going to be a fish or if it's going to be a deep fried nappy. Always a bit of a concern for me. There's these old boys selling horses, which I just assume is something that still happens in Dublin today.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Smithfield Horse Market.
Market.
It's
Oh, is
right
that
in the
what this
city
is?
centre.
Oh,
No,
right.
this
That's
is in
not
the
Smithfield.
That
But
was.
we see it later on. You know when they get the ice cream van and they
Yes.
go
Yeah.
for the drive and they go past the place with the big old like red brick chimneys.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
That's
Smithfield.
Smithfield.
Oh,
And
right.
it
They
is
have a-
still a horse market.
It went away for a while, but
There's
then it
a
came back,
brilliant
and
video
there's-
on
yeah,
YouTube
My first
of-
fact.
A guard being assaulted by a horse that's rather friendly
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
at the horse market, and it's brilliant, and everyone's just laughing.
The
Yeah.
guard
Yeah.
gets it, so it's all good.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good old Garda horsecock.
Did you Bluetooth it to anybody?
Oh, pictures are widely available.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
I'll look that up. Do I just have to Google AGAB? So, this boy with the guitar playing the Beatles, he's playing I Want Your Love, which, not a big Beatles fan, if I'm honest. I think we probably talked
No.
about this when we did Yesterday? The movie Yesterday. Remember
Yeah.
that, John?
Yeah, yep. Yep.
But, some decent songs, but yeah, not really for me.
Apparently that was the one that cost the most. Even though it was...
Oh,
this one,
right,
it was the
okay.
most.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was All You Need Is Love.
Oh, did
the
he know-
line that they sing later on.
Oh, was it? I thought it was
Oh,
that.
right.
That
very good.
cost more than all the other music in the film put together
Jesus, I wouldn't
for that one line.
rate. There's a lot of good music in this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We meet Jimmy, who's selling cassettes. He tries to sell one to this Meatloaf lookalike. He's just like, fuck off. Pretty good. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the conversation is. There was a lad buying a Fido Dido t-shirt, John.
Oh,
Did you
remember
spot
that?
it?
Yeah, 7-Up.
We're certainly old enough to remember him. Created by Joanna Ferrone and Sue Rose. It was the 7-Up mascot in the 90s
Yeah.
until it was replaced by
Cool Spot.
Cool Spot.
Yeah, I had the game.
That
Cool Spot, the game.
Cool Spot game was
That
amazing,
was brilliant.
John.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Mega
Oh,
Drive.
yeah, it was
Cool
so
Spot.
good.
Jesus.
I think I had it on the Amiga 1200.
Aye. Yeah, that's right.
Amiga 1200, eh?
With a floppy hard disk.
Someone was doing okay as a teenager.
At the bars.
A video game called Fido Dido was made by Kaneko and Bit Studios for the Super NES and the Sega Genesis in America. However, it was never released because the publisher's United States branch shut down in the summer of '94.
There you go.
There you go. But what would Fido Dido do? He was just... What was he? He was just some...
Just
dude.
it was cool dude. It was a cool dude. I think I played it for the
He was
Genesis.
the fizzy version of Mr. Soft.
He was. He absolutely was. Yeah. Oh, man. Just don't leave the top off of him because he'll end up
He'll
going
go
flat.
flat.
Got to teach him back.
At this wedding, this band are playing 24 Hours from Tulsa. By the way, top 50 song for me, 24 Hours from Tulsa. It's an absolute banger and I don't care who knows it.
Even that version.
Less so that version because it sounds like it's a wedding band, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
And it's a very apt wedding venue because it was the Bray Head House Hotel
Okay.
that was built in the 1870s, roughly. And it was built as a hotel because Bray was like this touristy beach destination for like all the rich people that lived in Dublin.
Yeah.
You could get the train down. And it used to be a haunt of Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor whenever they were in Ireland. And that's what the inside of it looked like. It was sold, unfortunately, in 2017 and it's been derelict ever since.
All right.
But that was the actual inside and the that was like what the big banquet hall looked like in it.
Oh, that looked beautiful as well.
I assume that one of their many weddings took place there. Question mark.
I think one of their many honeymoons.
Any excuse for honeymoon.
I don't think they were allowed to get married, having been married and divorced.
Oh shit! Yes,
times.
of course. Yes, I forgot when it was.
1960s Ireland.
Yeah,
like not a good idea.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder. 24 Hours from Tulsa, written by John. Podcast Bad Pennies. They keep coming up. Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
Fucking hell.
What is it with this fucking pair, man? Why won't they
Burt
just...
Bacharach wrote everything.
Yeah,
I know.
apparently so.
Can't get rid of him though. It's like a boomerang.
Well,
he always keeps coming back. Oh, that's a keeper, big man. Keep it in, keep
if
it
we
in.
were still doing clips, that'd be the clip. Yeah, in 1967, it was number 7 in USA and number 5 here in the UK. Covered loads and loads of times, but probably the best cover of it is Dusty Springfield.
Oh god, yeah.
She was phenomenal. She was absolutely phenomenal. There's kids. Oh fucking hell! Jimmy comes in and as he's coming in, he's selling these pirated videos. Mississippi Burning, this child asks for, and I'm like, what kind of child wants to watch?
On the nose though,
Mississippi
that's
Burning?
Alan Parker. That's Alan Parker, isn't it?
It is an Alan
Yeah.
Parker.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I realise this is Dublin in the 80s and 90s, but.
I know, come on.
Fucking hell. Jesus. When he arrives, he starts minesweeping pints, which just made me feel a little bit sick. Not that we haven't done it.
We
haven't done it, but I'm 44 now and I can just about afford my own pints. There's these kids sliding around the dance floor and a pregnant bride on the pints, which I loved. Don't do it, listeners.
Yeah.
But, it's still fun. Jimmy's talking to the band. Did you clock the name that they came up with for the band?
Oh, is it something explanation?
It was
and
And with an exclamation
yeah,
point
but
in
then
between
considering the yeah,
between the second to last one.
and
yeah. And Jimmy's land is and fecking and. It's really good. This drunken arsehole gets up and sings a song, sings along to Letter from America before falling off the stage and drenching Imelda with a drink.
Right.
Jimmy tells the lads that their music should be working class like they are, Dublin soul. This estate looks amazing, by the way, that they're walking through. Kids on BMXs, horses in the streets. It sounds like what Alan Partridge claimed Dublin was in the 90s.
Yeah,
That's fairly accurate.
Right.
That's a real estate.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
an
accurate.
estate. Yeah, that's Valley. That wasn't.
They filmed a lot around Kilbarrack.
Yeah, it was all around Kilbarrack, but like Ballymun was like that before they knocked down the flats. Ballyfermot's still like that. Tala's like that. You go around.
A lot of Dublin was like that.
There's still horses on greens all over the place here.
But I assumed that this, Kira, was before they gentrified the whole place. But by the sounds of it, they haven't gentrified the whole of Dublin yet.
They've done a fairly good job of it, to be honest with you.
They've tried, but they'll just move into new houses and still continue on the same way.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good,
You know,
good on
like
them.
the horses will always be there. You're never going to get rid of the horses in Dublin city centre. It's just not going to happen. Because they do, and I mean the horse in the lift going up, that happens.
At some point, somebody called somebody a gooter, and I was like, "What is gooter?"
Was it cheese?
Very good. No, is this Dublin slang? Is this Irish slang?
Not one I'm familiar with, so it
Gooter
might have
is
been one
very-
that fell out of
Yeah,
fashion.
Gooter
Wi-
sounds north side though, to be honest.
Willies. It means your dick.
Oh,
basically.
right.
Oh, you gooter.
Yeah, you gooter. So Willies. I love Willies.
You got a good
the song
gooter.
goes. Jimmy's dad answers the door the next day, Mr. Rabbit.
God.
The fantastic O'Brien, of course.
Yeah, Chief O'Brien.
Did we? Yeah. What did we do? We did Con Air. That
Yes,
Colin
and
Meaney
he's
was
in it.
in. I don't think we've done anything else he's been in. Top of my head.
This is a second one now.
Guys, what films have you done with Colin Meaney in?
Con Air.
Con Air.
Yeah.
There you go. Fantastic.
He's so good in this though. That
he's-
face.
Oh,
that
he's-
Irish
he's-
dad
aye,
face.
He is
Aye.
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
He's always a good dad, isn't he? Get me the Greek. He's the same character in that.
Jimmy put an ad in the paper looking for band members. Back at the table, Dad's singing "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You." Elvis was not soul. Elvis is God. I'm kind of like, okay, this was my dad with Rod Stewart. I'll be honest. I love this montage of lads at the door. By the way, who are your influences? Barry Manilow, U2, Billy and the Bollocks, not a real band. They all get to the door, shutting the faces.
I was particularly happy with the Wings.
Wings! Yeah, Wings was a good one. Yeah, Wings was a really good one. This bloke in the bathroom with the accordion skiffle band, and he's singing "Elvis was a Cajun," and he's like, "That's fucking blasphemous!" and slams the door on them. Couldn't find anything about this song. I assume it was written for this.
I assume you've done Elvis to death on the podcast at this point.
Yeah.
I've got some Elvis stuff coming up, but yeah, fire any Elvis stuff you've got in.
I just looked for obscure Elvis facts because I figured you'd done them to death already.
We've done a couple,
there's 35,000 Elvis impersonators worldwide, or reckoned to be. The Colonel was such an incredible. Well, yes,
that's the word. Yeah.
But also just an incredible marketing genius that he managed to sell Elvis stuff to people who didn't like Elvis, because he used to sell "I Hate Elvis" pins and "I Hate Elvis" t-shirts outside the venues.
Fucking hell.
Well done, that guy.
What other ones did I have? Elvis was known for watching 3 TVs at once.
Yeah. This show ain't no good.
What's he watching?
Famously an itchy and scratchy cartoon.
The only other one I have is he had a myna bird as a pet, which are one of those incredible
that'd have been annoying.
mimicry birds.
They're the ones that can mimic
they can do like
well.
chainsaws and telephones and all sorts of stuff.
There's one in the really hard. I think Disney have tried to wipe it off the face of the planet, but I definitely have it on VHS. The Robinson Crusoe with Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
That's really racist.
Okay.
Has a myna bird in it that swears.
Oh, wow.
That's what Elvis is used to do.
Yeah. You haven't. At no point did you mention Elvis was taught to dance by Forrest Gump. Funny that.
We got that last time.
We did get that last time. Yeah. There's a bit where Dad says, "Is this the band? I bet you two are shitting themselves," which is pretty good. I hope you two do shit themselves, or at least Bono anyway. That'd be great. I've got Stephen joins up. He's a saxophonist. There you go. That's the word. Saxophonist. There's a line here, or there's a line somewhere that Jimmy says to Dad. So what about Elvis? He did nothing more than sing "My Way" at Caesar's Palace, was the line. And I was kind of like, okay. So I looked it up. I can't find anything that says he didn't, but he first performed "My Way" at Aloha from Hawaii, live in 1973. The lyricist of the English lyrics to it, because "My Way" is based on a French song, Paul Anka, which is another Simpsons reference there, insisted it didn't suit him and didn't want him to sing it. There you go. In the pub, they're talking to Billy, whose drums are in the pawn shop, but he does have a van that they can travel to gigs in. It's barely a van, I've got to be honest. Yeah. It was.
Is that a transporter?
Transporter? Yeah, with nothing. Half cut indeed, John. Yeah. Jimmy sees Bernie at the chip van, and he offers her a place in the band. She was brilliant at choir when they were in church, and he asks her to bring her friend Imelda to try out. Imelda is some name, by the way, isn't it?
I know.
I can't imagine there's many Imeldas born today.
It's really common.
It was really common
Imelda
over here,
May is
around
a
the
blues.
time.
Is a blues singer here. Yeah,
Oh,
at the minute
right.
she's from Dublin.
Okay.
She's fantastic. She's like rockabilly
Okay.
style.
Yeah. God, I'm so old.
It's a common name here. Yeah.
I've added Imelda May to the list of things you told me to look out for at the start of the episode, before we start the episode, along with Roddy Doyle's Star Trek and Kay Bird's Commitments. So that'll be good. American listeners are going, what are these things? What are these things? At the Bus Garage Cafe, he meets Deco. Now, Deco was the lad singing at the wedding. He doesn't remember being there after 15 rum and blacks. Now, I have got to point out here, I was certain that Deco was probably the second oldest member of this band.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No. He's just from the country.
He's 16 and
He's
17
16.
while this is being filmed.
Yeah.
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 How
he
is
was
that
reared
I know.
on cabbage and hoof and turf and ga on the weekend.
Jesus.
And whole jugs of milk. Yeah. Big
He's
fucking
a
potato
big
head
fucking
on him.
boy, wasn't he? Massive boy.
Christ on a bike.
His dad was the
He was going to be the vocal coach on it.
yeah.
and
He was a soul singer
yeah.
from Ireland.
Okay.
Rob was his name, and that's how Andrew Strong ended up getting the part because
He was just
came-
at the auditions and was like fucking about and singing along, and he was saying they basically all nearly fell off their fucking chairs, and we're like, we have to have him, and yeah.
They got punched.
He's some talent, like, in fairness. He's
Yeah. Oh,
you
God,
know, he
yeah.
really
Yeah.
is some talent. They're at the pawn shop and Billy's smashing away on the drums. Jimmy's bought his mum's stuffed falcon as collateral.
Yeah.
I mean, would I have one of these stuff? I probably would. I've got to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, I'd have one. Yeah.
The cats would never leave it alone, though.
Oh, no.
Let's be honest.
Defo.
Absolutely not. In the video shop, they're watching this James Brown video, and the line is, I think it was Deco saying, "I can't do that. I'm not black enough," which is pretty good.
They're all black.
And the best line really is the Irish are the blacks of Europe, and Dubliners are the blacks of Ireland, and the North Side Dubliners are the blacks of Dublin. So say it once and say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
And they're like, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Again, there was a shelf of videos in this video shop dedicated to the director. There's an Alan Parker shelf of videos and a poster, John, for Leviathan.
Oh, Jesus.
You remember Leviathan?
Aye.
Now that is Mono and Ciara looking as if saying, no, we don't remember. That's got your podcast written all over it.
It really does.
What a load of dog shit that is. It's like there was another monster movie thing like that with Famke Janssen in, wasn't there?
Yeah. Oh, is it though?
Or is that was Leviathan the one with Leviathan's not the one with Famke Janssen in. It's kind of like Deep Blue Sea meets Ghost Ship.
Aye.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking
We actually
garbage.
watched Ghost Ship a while ago.
Ghost Ship's
Yeah.
great. It's
Oh,
not as good as Virus. I personally prefer Virus to Ghost Ship. You know, with Jamie Lee Curtis
Yeah,
and
Donald Sutherland.
Oh, it's got
Donald
Peter
Sutherland.
Weller in it.
There you go. Add it to the list, lads. Get it on there.
And Ernie Hudson and his massive arms.
There you go.
Aye.
He certainly does. Back at Jimmy's, an older chap arrives. Joey the Lips Fagan. I love Joey.
He's my favourite.
And I hate Joey at the same time. Like,
Is it the very soft lisp?
yeah.
Yes. And he's
the
calls
fact that
everybody
he keeps-
brother.
And you know
Robert.
his fingernails are just a touch
Oh,
too long.
yes. Absolutely. And they've got a little bit of dirt under them.
Yeah, and he holds. They accidentally touch your hand when he's trying to take things.
Yes.
From you. Yeah, he's one of those.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he always slightly prolonged eye contact when he's taking
Yeah, a
something
little
off you
bit
as
too
well.
close. Yeah.
Do you know who they wanted for Joey Lips?
Van Morrison?
Aye.
Yeah.
You nearly said Van Halen, John. That would have been brilliant. Eddie Van Halen would have been
Totally
quite
different film.
I read that and I thought, bloody what?
He met with them and decided he didn't want to do it, but I think he said that they could use any of his songs if they wanted to.
Oh, that's good.
All right, okay, that is good. He met with them and decided he didn't want to do it. Not known for his acting, though, is he? Not really.
But in fairness, he could have gotten off with all three of the girls.
Jesus, how old would he have been at the time as well? No. Oh, anyway. He says he's played with B.B. King. He's played with the Greats, but he's back in Dublin because his mammy's sick. And in his shed, he plays Moon River for the rest of the band, and it's phenomenal. He said, the Lord told me the Irish brothers need some soul. The Irish brothers wouldn't be shooting the arse off one another if they had soul. And I loved that. Yeah, it's great. The girls arrive and Mammy shows them in. By the way, this Mammy looked like she should have been out of Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, she was strange.
Oh, Mammy's great.
Yeah.
Mammy's so sweet because you do get mammies like that are kind of like they're very wealthy because that house is in Ballsbridge, which is quite a posh part. The American embassy's near there.
Oh.
Yeah, very fancy. So Mammy's got money, so she's allowed to be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Eccentric.
That's why
she's
in
eccentric. Yeah.
In the ad, it mentions no Southsiders.
Yes,
And,
yeah, it does.
They're south
Because
side.
it's traditionally a north side, south side divide, north and south of the Liffey, the River Liffey, and it's traditionally seen as south side are quite rich and posh, and north side very working class and poorer.
South side are very Royish.
You get
Accents are completely different as well.
Yeah. You do get poorer parts in the south side and richer parts in the north side, but by and large the divide is there, and it's mostly good-hearted ribbing, and as
Yeah.
as a few Dubliners would say, they'll quite happily join forces to take on the rest of the cultures.
Nice. Okay. Oh, this is the bit. So they have to go to the end of the garden and then find a ladder, and then they have to climb a wall to get in.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see how crumbly and crispy and horrible these Jaffa cakes look like in this scene? When he bowls the Jaffa cakes out, they just disintegrate, and I just thought, man, keep them in a tin. You can't have hard Jaffa cakes.
That's quick save stuff, that, isn't it?
It's quick save, Jesus. Other budget supermarkets are available somewhere. I don't know.
Well, back then for us it was
Dunn stores.
Dunstores, Quinsworth, and Crazy Prices.
Yeah.
Crazy prices. How crazy were those prices?
Crazy, George.
Well, they're out of business.
Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. What did we have?
Also, it was the 80s, so,
Yeah.
everybody was skint.
Yeah.
We had a shop that Scotland didn't have called Netto, which was, I think, Norwegian. It had like a little Scotty dog on the bag. So there was Netto, and there was obviously Quick Save, as John's already said.
Prestos.
Prestos, yeah. Food Giant.
Food Giant, aye.
God, this podcast turned into everything we learned from The Simpsons so quickly. I couldn't believe it. They decide to call themselves the Commitments. Pow, pow, pow. Which I was happy with. Just then, when the girls arrive, there's loads of leching and carrying on. On the train home, Jimmy explains soul. He says soul is the music people understand. Sure, it's basic and it's simple, but it's something else. Because it's honest, and that's it. It's honest. There's no fucking bullshit. It sticks its neck out, and it says it straight from the heart. Sure, there's lots of different music you can get off on, but soul is more than that. It takes you somewhere else, it grabs you by the balls, and it lifts you above the shite, which I liked.
That was good.
On some train facts.
Oh, do I?
Dart.
Here we
That
go.
is the DART, which is the Dublin Area Rapid Transit System.
Woofed.
It services a wild 31 stops across 53 kilometres of track.
Jesus.
Servicing 20 million passengers annually, and it's been running since 1984.
Hey, how about that? Where else do you go for your train facts, listeners? Toot toot.
No, I seen in that previous scene they had, is it gold seal sugar? And I tried to find it, and it keeps coming up Tate and Lyle, which is really annoying me.
Oh, maybe they were merged. Maybe they lost out in the sugar wars.
Sure. Take too many sweeteners.
I think I've missed loads of stuff here. There's this bit where the Stephen, the saxophonist, says, "I want to be just as famous as the guy from Madness," doesn't he?
Oh,
and I was like, well, that's Lee J. Thompson. You can have that fact for nothing. That was cheap. And he keeps doing this bit, by the way, in the shower, Jimmy, or in the bath all the time, and he's kind of looking in mirrors and pretending he's being interviewed. He keeps saying Terry, so I assume it's Terry Wogan. He's being
God, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
Without a doubt.
Which I was kind of into. But he's in the shower. He's in the bath doing this thing, and he's talking into the shower attachment for the bath. Do you remember those? He used to put it on
just
the
the second one to
taps.
put the yeah.
You can still buy them, $10.99.
And one would
Amazon.
pop off.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff into your
Oh, I
bath.
saw it.
it was always a hot one when it popped
Yeah,
off. You'd be
scold
freezing.
yourself.
No, I was always freezing.
And did you notice who was banging on the door to tell Jimmy he's got another potential bandmate outside when he's in the bath?
Is it Andrea Core?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Aye.
was.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the lovely cores.
Yeah.
All four of the cores are in it.
Aye.
Well, 5 of the cores.
Well, yeah, four of the 4 known cores.
And then
are
the
in it.
5th core is there as well.
The 5th core.
It was
Yes.
pre-eyeliner.
There is-
Pre-eyeliner, so it was.
The beautiful cores.
There's
The
a
beautiful
secret 5th
cores.
core.
The beautiful
The beautiful
cores.
cores. Yeah.
Fucking cats.
Hardcore.
I got some chorus facts for you too.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fire them out.
Where are they? They have 7 albums.
No, fuck off. Who's
Yeah,
they've only had one. They've only had
They
one.
released five of the albums up to 2005, and then they took 10 years off and came back in 2015.
Didn't he get all a bit weird?
He's a bit right wing, isn't he? Or is he? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got Sharon, Andrea, Caroline, and then Looney Bin Jim, who is a 9/11 truther and an anti-abortion fuckwit who campaigned against repealing anti-abortion laws in Ireland.
Fuck that guy.
Jim.
So yeah, fuck Jim Core. And then yes, there's an unknown fifth member of the Corps, Pat Core, who writes all the songs, but they don't let him on stage because he's got such fat fingers.
Parkour! Parkour!
Because he's too busy jumping from building to building.
No, Pat Core.
All right, okay.
Still funny
His
though.
sausages for fingers.
The location filming again. There's kids wrecking windows and setting fire to stuff in this factory in the street. It's great. Billy and Jimmy go to meet Duffy. He's got these bunny rabbits in an old warehouse. It's real kind of like, can we see the rabbits? Well, let's go get the rabbits. Come on, George. Let's get the rabbits, George. Which I wasn't that into. But he's got a dog. He's got a Rottweiler with a muzzle on. Oh, I'm glad you've muzzled your dog. Yeah, because it keeps eating my bunny rabbits. Fucking hell, mate. He's there to get him to get them some kit. He's basically just some baden, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He says, I don't know why you're bothering. Music's shite since Roy Orbison died. Yes, I'm into that. And I do have a fact about it somewhere. Roy Orbison died on December the 6th, 1988 in Hendersonville, Tennessee, of a heart attack. There you go. And probably because he drove all night. I don't know. I've mentioned this on the podcast. I always thought, until I was in my 20s, Roy Orbison was blind because he always wore sunglasses.
Yeah, so did I.
Until somebody said to me once, how did he drive all night? I don't know, the fucking dog was giving him directions. I'm not sure. I don't know how these things work. I don't know. There's a montage, Nowhere to Run, but we've done that in The Warriors already.
Yeah.
The band are all practicing during the day jobs, including Deco, just screaming at these wee lassies in their confirmation dresses on the bus.
Yeah.
And they look...
Communion dresses.
Oh, communion dresses.
At least you didn't accuse them of being child brides.
Yeah.
Right, okay, there you go. I'm married to a Catholic, but I still only know the little bits and pieces.
No,
Yeah,
you
that's-
do your first Holy Communion here when you're what, 7, 8?
7 or 8.
Right.
And-
Okay.
Third class.
When I was having a look into First Communions, just for something to look into,
Because it's
it
weird.
used to be-
The dresses are weird. Yeah.
it's one of 3 initiation sacraments. So baptism, communion, and then confirmation. But communion used to be done around the same time as confirmation, at around 12. Mm-hmm. But in 1910, Pope Pius X was considering lowering the age, and then decided to when he heard about the story of, I have her name, Ellen Organ, or where
when she got married, did she double barrel it to Helen Hammond Organ?
No. Ellen Organ was Little Nellie of Holy God. She was born in 1903 in Ireland, and she died in 1908 at the age of 4. She was an Irish mystic, apparently. She took great interest in the church, and used to apparently be able to tell if people hadn't gone to church, and used to see visions of the baby Jesus, and became quite popular and wanted to get her first communion before she passed away, but wasn't allowed. And the Pope was inspired by her story and allowed children as young as 7 to get their Holy Communion from then on, which still wouldn't have helped her because she was only 4.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. So he wasn't that pious, was he? These are the facts that we want. John, any guns in this film? Just
No,
interest?
not a one.
No, okay.
No, I've got a Clicks coffee machine if you want that, but that's as much as I've got for you.
Ooh,
Remember
fantastic.
Clicks coffee machines?
I do remember Click coffee machines.
I can get you one for eBay for 1,350 quid.
What? It was always shit.
It was always shit, but you can still buy them.
Get them in the bookies, don't you?
Do the Job Centre?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The
Jesus.
job exchange. They're having they've got practice space above this snooker hall, and they moved the kit in. They're practicing Mustang Sally, and I absolutely love the line. It's Ride Sally Ride, not Roid Sally Roid.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Roid. I had a good time with that one. There's a bit where I can't remember who it was. Someone goes, "I'm blind without my glasses." And I think Jimmy says, "Yeah, well, so was Ray Charles."
It's piano player.
Fucking beautiful. Absolutely great. Joey's helping Dean with his technique, explaining he should caress the reed like a woman he fancies his nipple. Joey picks Gina Lola Brigida. Anybody?
Yeah, I'm sure we've mentioned
I've
it before.
got Gina Lola Brigida facts if nobody else has. She's an Italian actress. She died last year at the age of 95. Most interestingly, though, her toy boy ex-assistant, Andrea Pizzola, 36, was convicted of stealing 10 million euros from her over a 5-year period.
Jesus.
After the next practice, they're getting better. We're at the job exchange, as you mentioned. Jimmy's been on unemployment for 2 years. The queues, by the way, were astonishing.
I know, there's a lot.
Down the Dole office.
As he says, we're a third world country.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was the great
we
unwashed of the 1980s. Fucking unemployment through the roof.
Because and we were a third world country because the original
Wasn't that how we
definition
got
was
into
a Cold War thing.
EU.
No. The original definition of first, second, and third world countries was to do with the Cold War, and first world countries were NATO or US aligned. Second world countries were USSR aligned, or Eastern Bloc, and third world countries were ones that weren't aligned with either. So we were a third world country.
Right. Okay. Oh. I like that. I'm gonna tell everybody that. Everybody doesn't listen.
I think that was inside the GPO.
They've changed the definition
as well.
now.
Oh, right, okay.
I think that's the inside of the GPO as well that they filmed that.
Yes, the General Post Office in Dublin
in
City
Dublin
Centre.
that got bombed to shit in the fucking Easter Rising.
Oh, right, okay. Cool.
Do you want to know how much you get for the brew? If you're on the brew?
Oh, please.
It's been a while. You get £71.70 a week if you're 18 to 24, and then 25-year-olds get £90.50 a week.
Jesus, what are you supposed to do with that this day and age?
Just buy hundreds of fags and drink.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, cheap cider. Yeah. Joey's playing "I Can't Turn You Loose" by Otis Redding. Da, 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 da. John, the Oldsmobiles are in early this year. Do you have Miss Piggy? Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Last time we had an Irish person on the podcast, by the way. We had Punk on, doing Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
He offers to sign this record for them. Mammy says he always sent a postcard when he was away in the States. Remember that, because it'll come back a little bit later on. Jimmy heads to this high rise. There's a kid with the lift with this horse. He says, "You're not taking that in the lift, are you?" He says, "I have to. The stairs will kill him." It's a fucking horse. Come on.
No, but they will.
They will.
Yeah.
The joke is in there because Alan Parker saw
horses looking out over a balcony.
From the balcony of a high-rise flat.
Yeah. And they take them up the elevator because they can get up the stairs, but they can't get back down.
They can't get back down. That's right.
Because the turns are too tight, so they put them in the elevator.
Wow, imagine that. This is where Bernie lives with a mam and all these kids.
Oh, God.
Did you notice who her mam is, by the way?
I absolutely didn't know.
It's Mary from Father Ted.
Oh, was it really?
It's, Mary of John and Mary.
Mary of John and Mary, yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Jesus Christ, well done.
She's not been showing up to auditions because she's the only breadwinner in the house, working in that chip van. In this church, in the church,
yeah, because her dad's in prison.
Yeah.
He's 2 months left up in Mountjoy.
In the church, Stephen's playing White a Shade of Pale by Procol Harum until the priest arrives. Luckily, he's a cool priest and not a bumming kids priest, and he's got them their first gig at the church community centre.
Yeah. Heroin.
Procol Harum were named after a cat.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a friend of theirs had a blue Persian cat that was called Procol Haroon, and they went, "Oh, that's a cool sounding name," and then just misspelt it.
Oh, that cat's dead now.
Yeah, very, very dead.
God, you hate cats.
No matter how determined, that cat lies long dead. I like that fact. That's one I certainly had never heard before. Out for a fag, Dean catches Natalie and Joey copping off because he's a nonce. As they head for the gig at the church hall, they've got Mika Wallace doing the doors. Now, come on, we all know a lad like Mika Wallace.
Oh, God, aye.
Yep.
You just got to make sure you're on the right side of him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He's an absolute fucking nutter. He headbutts the microphone and sings the Boomtown Rats.
And he really did, because he ended up cracking his head
Oh,
off the
right.
microphone. He was bleeding everywhere.
He's shaking these kids down at the door with behaviour I can't do.
In fairness, look at the state of the kids. They're little bastards.
I know.
Oh, of course, yeah. They're only there for trouble.
Yeah.
It's a sellout, and they all look great in their black suits and dresses. They do Mr. Pitiful, which is a 1964 song by Otis Redding, number 41 in the Billboard in the USA. Jimmy's twin sisters are badgering Mr. Rabbit for money for crisps and cokes. How much do you want? A quid. £1! Jesus! It's great.
Yeah,
For 2 crisps and 2 cokes.
Two crisps and 2 cokes.
What was with the glass panels at the bar?
Oh, no, those are beautiful, man.
They're beautiful, but what was the point? Is it so people don't get hit by shrapnel?
No, there'd be another.
Yeah, it'll be through to the snug, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be other seats on the other side.
Oh, I
It's
thought
just so
that
you
was-
can open through and talk.
I literally just thought that was a bar. I get you, so it's basically
Yeah.
just the 2 seating areas that you could open
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you can close it off, or you can open them up and talk through.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
I want to say the Crown in Belfast has got loads of little nooks like that. It's gorgeous, fantastic, beautiful.
Waxy O'Connor's as well.
Oh, yeah,
Just get
very
lost.
very much like Waxy's with all the fucking pretend trees. Jimmy's twin sisters are obviously badgering Dad. I decided to look up how much would crisps and coke be in a local. I didn't have time to go in the pub, and my local's just a local, so it doesn't do anything on the website. But in my local Spoons, I'm sorry, listeners, £1.85 for a 398ml glass of Is Pepsi All Right, as they always say when you ask for a Coke, and 93p for a packet of lightly salted kettle chips.
No,
Sunak's Britain, man. Fuck that guy. Fuck
know.
that guy.
They hate
It
that
would have
guy.
been what? Cadet Cola and Tato?
Yeah.
Cadet Cola.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The little tiny bottles of it. Fucking
Yeah, like
rocket fuel.
Panda Pops, John.
Aye,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah,
Panda Pops.
Panda
We
Pops.
had Cadet. That was
Yeah.
our version of it.
You'll have had Panda Pops when you came over on holidays here, I'm sure. Over here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And your one in the pub is definitely drinking rock shandy.
Oh, yeah.
The little kid with the orange.
Candy Bass.
They tell Dad that the band are good and he shows up. The amp on Derek's guitar explodes after he earthed the setup. He's fine, sure. They wheel him out of the hospital in a chair later on, and they set up rehearsal for the next day. In Ireland, there have been 40 electrocutions or death from the explosive burning effects of electricity from 2001 to the end of 2020. Of those, 25 deaths have been associated with work activity. The remaining 15 have occurred in domestic situations or as a result of trespass, vandalism, or in one case, a fallen overhead power line.
That was during the hurricane, that tree and the power line fell on your man and electrocuted him.
Stormophilia.
Yeah.
Go, see, listeners, Ireland's such a small place, they knew who he was. American listeners are going, we thought Britain was small.
Yeah.
At Joey's mum's, she's singing and playing the violin. I've absolutely no idea what was really going on here, but he's playing the theme from Shaft in his pants.
Oh, God, aye.
And
That
his
whole
line-
sequence.
his line,
Oh, gosh.
our signs have brought us together. Come on, baby, I want to be your lover, man. And it's Bernie. Will you stop talking shit, Joey? It's really, really good. By the way, this actress that plays Bernie is, of course, in Pulp Fiction. At some point, she has to go and get his little black medical book. Eric Stoltz's little black medical
right,
book.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
you
hell.
see, yeah. Because the line is when he says to he says to John Travolta, he says, "Such and such really fancies you, really likes you. Oh, is that the one with all the shit
the
in her
shit in her
face?"
face,
He went,
aye,
no, that's my
Jason.
wife. It's really
Jesus.
good. It's a really
Oh.
good line. Also says the first lines in The Phantom Menace. There you go. How's that for a
There
fact?
you go.
There you go.
Cinemax
25 years on.
movies.
25 years on from the Phantom Menace. She also gets, I think, probably one of the first people to get killed in the Phantom Menace. She gets blown up at the start.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
It's been so. Yeah, why would you watch it? Why
I've seen A New Hope a million times, but I can't remember much about the
you have.
Phantom Menace.
The theme from Shaft John we've done.
Yeah,
Damn right.
damn right.
But I've got a couple of facts. 1971 number from the film of the same name, obviously by Isaac Hayes. The song was not intended to be a single, but the success of the film and the popularity of the track in nightclubs led to a 45 record of the theme being released on Enterprise Records 2 months after the soundtrack was released. Number 1 in the USA and number 4 in the UK. Tons upon tens of covers. The wedding present's pretty good, and an absolutely fucking stellar version that I have not been able to stop listening to for a week of Sammy Davis Jr., right? Which is on all the streaming services and on YouTube. He even adds extra lyrics in it.
Wow.
There's shit extra lyrics, but he does. But one of the bits is, and he's bad. It's fucking atrocious, and I love it. Sammy, oh man, I love Sammy. Anyway, enough of that.
Did we mention he had won an Academy Award for it? I can't remember.
Sammy Davis Jr.?
No, Isaac Hayes for the Shaft.
For Shaft?
Yeah.
Did he really? There you go. Fantastic work. We'll have that. It's practice, and Bernie's brought a little brother along, little baby. Deco makes a twat of it on the drums and upsets the child. The band are talk about Wilson Pickett, who's coming to play Dublin, and of course Joey has played with him. Wilson Pickett's never played Dublin. There you go. Imelda tells Jimmy she can't be at the next gig. She's off to the Isle of Man, camping on a family holiday. Lads, ever been to the Isle of Man on holiday?
Yes, as a scout, like one of the little
Fucking
scouts running around all the shit.
Yeah, listeners, if you like scout stories, Mono's got so many on his podcast. Every week there's another scout story. Oh, we watched this film when I was on a scout trip to such and such. We watched this film on a scout trip to such and such. Yeah. Right, what is there to do on the Isle of Man as a scout other than watch RoboCop 12 times?
When I was there, an awful lot of underage drinking.
Nice.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Jimmy says, "Oh, that's not very soul, is it?" Which is quite a good line. They then play Hard to Handle by Otis Redding, a 1968 hit for the bloke who enjoyed watching boats coming in and going out again. Covered by the Black Crows in 1990, which made it to number 79 in Australia. Number 56 where, John?
The Netherlands.
There you go. You're winding it back in a bit now.
I know, because I embarrassed myself last time.
I much preferred it when you were going all kind of like crazy mad scientist with it. Dutch mad scientist.
I went African at one point.
Peter Lorre about it. It's good. Yeah. And 45th here. You better get some practice in. Get listening to get listening to Hocus Pocus by Focus for a little bit and kind of get used to it. Ready for the podcast. Indeed you should. Joey's talking to Daddy Rabbit. This story, by the way, of him being at Graceland, Elvis's dad puking into Joey's trumpet. Elvis washed the trumpet under a cold tap and said, "Joey the Lips, please forgive my daddy." He pretty much has just got a massive stoner, and
he's
Daddy
hanging on
Rabbit
every word,
this whole
doesn't he? What did Elvis say? What did Vernon say?
Vernon. At the dock, Imelda's dad's taking pictures of the whole family on the ferry. The ferry
the
is called
Man.
the Lady of Man.
Scrapped in 2011.
That's right. It was a side-loading car ferry built in 1976 for the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company. Which sounds something like how you cook your rice, doesn't it? And operated on the Douglas-Liverpool crossing, served the company for 29 years. In 2005, she converted to a roll-on, roll-off ferry and was operated by SAS Ferries in Greece under the name MS Pangaea Somala. Until, as John said, she got scrapped in 2011. If the pair of yous want to go to Isle of Man from Dublin, return ticket and the car, €542.15.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Exactly. It's obscene, isn't it? Flights from Dublin to Douglas, €372 return for the pair of you. Which is a lot of money to say you spent 20 minutes in the air. You spend all that time going up, 20 minutes up there, and all that time going down.
It's not EU anymore, so...
Oh shit! So it is.
Yeah, it means we can get the cheap fucking vodka in the duty free.
Hey, I've got to be honest. I've got to be honest. When me and Rachel went to the Canaries before Christmas, I got a really cheap bottle of Jura, 18-year-old Jura, which I drank in the week on holiday. It was brilliant, fantastic, and then didn't get one coming back for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I'd maybe sickened myself off of it. But yeah, duty free's back, baby.
Yep.
That's there's your one Brexit bone. There's your one Brexit benefit.
Yeah, duty free.
Duty free and starving poor kids. Yeah. They're in this pub setting up for the gig, and Imelda comes in. She's given the camp in the swerve. The gig's a great success. They've really got their shit together, although there's tensions between Deco and the rest of the band. Maybe because he's the one with the talent, maybe because he's a massive dickhead. I'm not entirely sure. After the show, they're in a cafe. Jimmy tells them to keep their minds off sex, arguing, and unsuccess. Jimmy turns down Natalie's advances. The next day, they're getting a photo together on this bit of waste ground. And Bernie's line is, "You wanted Urban Decay, you should have come to my place." Brilliant. I love that they're getting abuse off 3/4 of the Ramones at this point, by the way. What is this, a bingo callers convention? Billy arrives in the van and says he's leaving the band before he hits Deco. He says, before I hit a big bollocks like him. He says, why? He says, I'm on a probation. What for? For hitting a big bollocks like him. Again, it's very well written. Jimmy tells him to fuck off and take his van with him. We'll get another van. Jimmy meets Duffy and he's seen they've got gigs, but he's not yet been paid. Indeed. The gang liberate the chip van that Bernie works in. I'm not getting in that shit heap. Joey says, Buddy Holly's last words before he flew to meet his destiny that storm-tossed night. Which we know is not true. We all know Buddy Holly's real last words are, and you're Mary Tyler Moore, obviously.
No, I also looked up what his last words might have been, and obviously, well, I mean, nobody knows because he was on a plane that crashed. Yeah. But I did see that when Buddy Holly found out that Waylon Jennings wasn't going to be on the plane because he had given up the seat to somebody else, he told him that he hoped the bus that he was going on froze up. And Waylon Jennings reportedly responded by saying, I hope your old plane crashes.
Oh, fucking hell!
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, there's a fact and a half. That's the fact of the episode.
Is that the... Remember I was saying earlier there was one, I don't know, can't remember if it was that or if it was Roy Orbison when he died. Their wife found out through reporters.
Oh,
I think they ended up changing the law so that they couldn't release the names to the public until like next of kin had been notified.
Jesus.
Okay.
Well, we found it.
Famously, of course, the Big Bopper was also on that plane. Yeah. His final words were, goodbye, baby. Possibly. I might have made that up because I thought it was funny. I thought it's funny to joke about people dying in plane crashes. I mean, I do 9/11 every week, so why not this? Statute of limitations and all that. Yes. The band are crammed into the van and Deco farts, forcing them to pull over. They lift open the shutter. This old girl, by the way, who was probably dead before I'd even graduated school, right? Have you any rock salmon? Sorry, missus, we've only got sole. 8 out of 10 for that one. I liked that. Rock salmon is a type of dogfish and bull huss. It's a fisheries term for it. It's illegal to land spiny dogfish in the EU, but it is still legal to import it from other countries that permit capture. So it can still be traded in the UK, where it may still be sold as rock salmon. And apparently, since we smartly left the EU, rock salmon is going up in interest. Just as I'm sure a fucking gizzard pie and I don't know, fucking gruel probably.
Jellied eels.
Oh,
no. A jellied eel is nice.
No, I mean you're welcome to your wrong opinion, Kira, it's fine. I will eat anything. There's a reason I'm 100 stone, right? But I got halfway through a pot of jellied eels and I spat it out on the Olympic Stadium ground because I just could not finish it. I was nearly sick. It's not for me. Eel, great, yeah. Barbecue eel, absolutely. Jellied eel does nothing for me.
Did you ever have them live in the house? When you get them fresh and they came in a bucket, and if you didn't keep the lid on the bucket, they'd get out and go down the garden path.
No.
And you'd have to go and chase them down.
No, but I was once, last year, part of a quote-unquote working group where we had to pull over wagons off of the motorway that were suspected to be over the weight, and one of them was full of like exotic foodstuffs going to Glasgow, going to the Chinese supermarkets in Glasgow, and one was a massive vat of eels that were still alive, and they were taken off of the refrigerated wagon and left at this truck stop for like 3 days, and then a guy had to come and get it 3 days later when they were all dead and stinking.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
They basically got rid of the heaviest, cheapest thing, which was the eels.
They're not get done for animal cruelty. I know they were food stuff, but they were still alive.
Aye.
Well, I was told they were alive. Perhaps they weren't. I don't know. But they were refrigerated, so I assume they were dead, right?
No, you can.
Can you refrigerate eels?
Yeah, they're an amphibian, so that just slows down their
Slows down
metabolism and stuff, and keeps them
They're
fresher.
There's a fact.
There you go.
Keep marking them, didn't
Thanks
you?
very much, Professor Doolittle. That's great. I love that this gig, by the way, is this roller skating rink. There's a massive
Oh, with the
crowd
bar
for
in it.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
really good. After the first part of the gig, Jimmy gets 200 quid, which was £442.99 today, or €515.20. The roller skate. There's these roller skaters riding around behind them while they're fucking playing. It's like the half-time show for fucking Rollerball or something. It's with James Caan to fucking end up smashing someone in the face. Or who was in the new one?
The remake.
There's an episode for you. That remake of Rollerball.
Aye.
Oh, the guy out of Suck
Pie.
Me Beautiful out
Suck
of American
Me
Pie.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? Suck Me Beautiful. Who thought he was a leading man? Rebecca Roman Stamos was in it, possibly. And LL Cool J.
Aye. God, aye.
Jesus,
right.
again,
Jesus.
another movie I saw at the theatre that Kira and Mono are looking at us as if we've just made up.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
That's bad.
Roddy Craig from the Herald comes across. When's your next gig? Oh, we don't announce gigs. We hit and sink back into the night. We're the Gorillas of Soul. That's Gorilla with a U. Yes.
That's good. That was good.
The girls are doing Chain of Fools, a Don Covey number from 1967, sung by Aretha. Originally written for Otis Redding. Jerry Wexler of Atlantic Records gave it to Aretha Franklin instead. 37th in the UK, 2 in the US, and also features on previous episode Sneakers.
Ooh.
Sneakers. Duffy arrives and takes the full 200 and starts hassling Jimmy. Mika is the new drummer since Billy left, and he just clocks it and dives through the crowd and just fucking batters the fuck out of him. It's great.
Sticking him in the face. That's brilliant.
Jimmy jumps up and introduces the whole band, and the crowd love it. Almost there, listeners. Jimmy meets Joey at the hotel Wilson Pickett is staying at. He heads in to talk to him without Jimmy because it's a personal thing. He's taken a newspaper story from the Herald, likening them to U2, Sinead O'Connor, and Bob Geldof, because there are no other Irish musicians. Certainly no other Irish musicians that would probably be known in America, I'm going to assume. Daniel O'Donnell, did he ever crack it in the States?
He's cracked it fucking everywhere.
No, Daniel O'Donnell is actually massive in Nashville.
He's
is he
huge.
really?
They love him.
Yeah, they love him in Nashville. And when we were in New Zealand,
He played a gig in Auckland.
He played a gig over there when we were living over there.
Okay, now.
The granny
Yeah.
grannies love him.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of
Americans-
cardies.
It's a given.
Would Americans
yeah.
know Tin Lizzy?
Oh yeah, Lizzie, come on.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe.
Well, whiskey in the jar.
Well, if they like Metallica, they certainly don't like whiskey in the jar. Oh, Jesus.
The gyro.
The gyro, indeed. Later, at this scene where a horse has been shot in a bank robbery gone wrong,
that's so
which
weird.
I'm equally confused and delighted by.
I think they just happened to cross one and were like, "Fuck it."
That's what I was thinking.
Got caught in the crossfire.
They said it was guerrilla gigging. It's guerrilla filmmaking. I think it really is, isn't it?
It did feel like they just came
I
across
liked
that as a
it.
scene, though, didn't it? And go,
But
just set
in
up the camera and
fairness-
go.
I worked in Limerick about 6 years ago, and there was a horse that had to be shot in the drive-through of the Supermax across from where I worked. Because the horse had gone down, it had given up. It was just, when they go down, they don't get back up again. It's kind of the end of their life. And they had to get the vet out and have the horse shot in the drive-through of the Supermax because they'd been going through the drive-through picking up takeaway when the horse decided that it was had enough.
How dramatic is
They
that?
had a big sign out that was like, "Sorry, drive-through closed."
Yeah.
Drive-through closed for horse euthanasia. Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't understand. For me, having lived in Newcastle, when I did, just punch the horse. That's the best way to do it. That's what Newcastle football fans do. They just punch horses. Again, look that news story up if you haven't heard of it, listeners. But famously, a Newcastle United fan punched a horse that looked at him the wrong way after a football match. Jimmy talks to the reporter and tells him to come to the gig. He'll have Wilson Pickett there, gigging with them as well. Mm-hmm. At the gig before they go on, Deco's saying that he's been approached by another band who have a record deal and he's considering it. There's a bunch of carrying on and arguing. Half the band refuse to wear their outfits, and Jimmy tells them Wilson Pickett's coming tonight to jam with them. They go on stage, and of course they do Mustang Sally, which is the biggest fucking song of the whole thing. And we have done twice already in podcasts. I really couldn't do it.
I didn't bother looking anything up because I kind of hate that song.
There's a fabulous.
No, I do and I don't. When this film came out, you could not escape that song in this country.
Yeah.
Every radio station, all the time.
So there's a nightclub in Killarney called Mustang Sally's.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Right.
Or there was.
There was. I don't know if it's still there.
Maybe it
but
no
it had
longer
it had
exists.
hilariously confusing bathrooms because it had a men's door and a ladies' door, but they opened into the same room.
Oh.
So really drunk people would get very, very confused.
Yeah. I'd have got jailed in there.
At the bar, there's a bunch of press have arrived. Jimmy had told them all that they'd be the only ones, and he says, "Well, Dublin's a small town. The urban footprint of Dublin today is 133 square miles, so it's not that fucking small, Jimmy Rabbit." Try a Little Tenderness, they play, which was originally recorded by the Ray Noble Orchestra. Nope, me neither. Bing Crosby recorded it in 1933 and Sinatra in 1946. The version we all know, though, is Otis Redding from 1996. 1966. The last time...
Booker T and the MGs as well.
Absolutely, and was the last time Otis tried a little tenderness, or something I don't really know.
The guys who actually wrote that also wrote "Show Me the Way to Go Home."
Oh, right, okay. For Jaws, obviously. But the arrangement, that particular arrangement for Otis Redding, not only was Booker T and the MGs, but was written by Isaac Hayes. And it just keeps coming around. Hello, children. Yeah. That song was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2015. There you go.
It's the instrumental opening of Doctor Strangelove as well. When they're dropping the bomb.
Well remembered. Fantastic. Oh, I haven't seen that in too long. Far too long.
The precious fluids.
Gentlemen, stop your fighting. This is the world. No, this isn't the attitude becoming of the war room. That's great. After the show, the band are backstage. Jimmy grabs Joey and explains he knows Pickett finished an hour ago and that he's concerned that Pickett isn't coming. The band are absolutely at one another here, but it doesn't stop them going on for an encore. Dave Meechin from Egypt Records arrives. Not only do I love Egypt Records as a name, but obviously I love the person playing him. It was
Sean Hughes.
Sean Hughes. R.I.P. Sean.
Show.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, Shawnee Show. Shawnee Show.
No.
Shawnee Show. He's keen on signing the band. The soundtrack for this film went on to sell 12 million copies, so just imagine what he could have got. They finish the encore and the crowd go mad, but back in the green room, they're back at each other's throats, spells out into the alley into a full-blown Barney. Jimmy just goes, "Fuck yous, the fucking lot of yous," and leaves. Deco gets cleaned up in the alley after getting... he gets a bin to the face, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's emptying all the shit out of it onto him as well.
Then hitting him with the lid.
It's like a real kind of like backyard wrestling kind of job, isn't it? Deco gets cleaned up in the alley by some lassie, and then she's like, "Can I have your autograph?" And I was kind of like, that's kind of sweet, but he just goes, "Ugh." I thought, what? He's such a dick. As he's walking down the road, Joey turns up on his scooter and explains it wasn't about the band making money in albums, it was about raising their heads and broadening their horizons. Jimmy tells him to fuck off.
This broke the record, actually, that had been set by Raging Bull for amount of swearing in a film.
Oh, wow.
because
And nobody fucked anyone's fucking wife in this either.
The word fuck was used 169 times.
Yay.
And 2 production companies backed out because the fuck quotient was too high.
Oh, Jesus.
The fuck quotient is too high.
Quote. But yeah, beat the record that had been set by Raging Bull.
Beautiful.
For swearing. And I don't think they count feck and Egypt and things like that.
No,
It's full fat fucks, isn't it?
You worked it out. It was like 1 every minute and 30 seconds or something.
There was in and around 1 every minute and a half.
There's a lot of singing.
Sorry, a fuck and a half every minute.
Well, chance to be a fine thing.
When I was a teenager.
Just then a limo pulls up and asks for the venue. Jimmy says it's down the road but it's closed now. And the driver says, "Shall we go back to the hotel, Mr. Pickett?" "Yes." And you kind of like, that's not him. That's almost kind of "Hey, it's me, your cousin, Marvin. Yeah, you know that sound you've been after? Well, listen to this." Yeah, okay.
It's
Chuck
clearly
Berry's
not him, no, but
yeah.
he apparently did perform a show with the band
and
when
he came
they were
to the
touring.
premiere in the States
right.
as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice.
There you go. In the epilogue, Jimmy talks about the band. Jimmy and Outspan are still busking on Grafton Street. Bernie's in a country and western band, but that's because she never had much taste in music.
And country and western is huge here.
And that was the thing I was going to ask. Just what is the connection between Ireland and country music? I assume because it's a very, or historically was a very country, for the want of a better term.
No idea.
They like that. They like.
They love Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
God
love
here. Lounge singers, like crooners, because we have a lot of big show bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that shit, man.
Anything where you can have like a clap, and if they do rock the boat, even better.
Jesus.
Oh man, weddings must be phenomenal. I thought Scottish weddings were good.
Rock the boat is in every wedding. Doesn't matter how classy, doesn't matter the budget, doesn't matter how fancy the venue. There will be a very drunk rock the boat at some point of the night.
And I thought looking forward to Loch Lomond was the highlight of a Scottish wedding. Yeah, it absolutely is.
What about Billy Ray Cyrus? Do they still do the old line dancing to Billy Ray Cyrus? Remember that? That was a thing, wasn't it? Jesus.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Famously, what's his name? Irish national treasure, the actor.
Which one?
He did line dancing. Your man from in Bruges.
Oh,
fucking names
Farrell.
today.
Brendan Gleeson. Or
No,
Colin Farrell.
Colin
Gleeson.
Farrell.
Right.
Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell was. You can find footage of Colin Farrell doing line dancing.
Oh yeah, probably.
Before he was a famous actor. There you go.
Before he was doing lines.
Again, I think that. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Dean is playing Tosser's music, which I kind of liked. Yeah. Billy got kicked in the head by a horse.
It's random as fuck, wasn't it?
Shoeing a horse. Can you shoe a horse? No, but I can tell a donkey to fuck off. That old classic. Mika's in some sort of Billy and the Bollocks band, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oi band.
Goes Bento.
Imelda married Dopey Greg, who won't let her sing anymore. Deco got a recording contract, and he's more of a dick than ever. And we see him kind of in the studio. Natalie and Jimmy are a thing. Natalie comes out of this as having a great voice, but again, it's not really anything. Joey's touring with Joe Tex, or so he said on a card to his mum. But apparently, Joe Tex died in 1982. And that's the end. In early August 1982, Tex was found at the bottom of a swimming pool in his home in Navasota, after which he was revived in hospital and sent home. Just a few days later, on August the 13th, 5 days after his 47th birthday, he died at...
Barrymore found him.
Very good. He died at Grimes Memorial Hospital, or Grimey, as its friends like to know it, in Navasota, following a heart attack. Old Grimy.
Don't call me. Oh, I'm Homer Simpson. I can do this.
I live in an apartment above a bowling alley and beneath another bowling alley. Anyway, so yeah, Joe Tex died in 82, and that's the movie. Mono and Ciara, what other facts have you got?
I have a couple. The uilleann pipes are seen at one point. Okay. They are similar to bagpipes, except they are
We don't blow into them. We're too
No,
lazy.
you use
You
your-
pump
the-
it with your
Oh,
elbow.
I saw
elbow.
that. Yeah, I wonder what the fuck was going on.
Ilan is elbow in Irish.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
We think that they might have come over when the plantations were happening and all the Scottish people came over here and they bought their instruments that week. Basically went, oh yeah, we like the sounds of that, but the blowing thing's a bit too hard,
blowing it.
so we're not doing that.
Quite right.
We'd rather make farting noises with our with
Yeah,
our
it's
armpits.
basically
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
It's a softer sound as well.
Okay.
What else do we have? The song that's being sung to the little baby is
Jimmy
an
Oh,
Mamila's Thor.
yeah, Natalie's singing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, Maria Doyle Kennedy was a very successful singer in her own right before the Commitments and then after it as well.
Okay.
'Cause I think my mum has one of like her Christmas albums.
I
She had
looked
been along the lines of like Mary Black and all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I looked up jazz haircuts just to see if there was a thing.
Jazz
And
haircuts.
couldn't really find much about jazz haircuts, but apparently really, really popular name for barbers and hairdressers.
Jazz haircuts.
Jazz haircut.
Yeah.
And not
Or
from
just
hair to
some,
eternity.
some variation of jazz in the title.
Jazzy.
Dublin doesn't really look much the same anymore because of the Celtic Tiger, which
Gentrified the shit out of a load of it.
Yeah, it was a massive period of economic growth in Ireland, starting in kind of the mid '90s, where we saw
The Bertie Ahern years.
yeah,
Yes.
9.4% growth on average for a couple of years. There was Irish dancing, so I threw in some river dance facts.
Oh, of course you did.
But Irish dancing itself has a history going back to about 1700. You've got a couple of different types like Shannos, Cayley dancing. step
Shanos
dancing,
is
and
great
step
because
dancing.
it doesn't matter how drunk you are, you still look good. Because it's basically coordinated shuffling and sometimes involves a broom.
What?
Yeah, Shanos, broom dancing. Just look
Yeah.
up Irish broom dancing.
Okay.
In Scotland, it's very similar, but you use swords.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
weren't
Oh,
allowed
right.
to
Oh,
have
Yeah,
the
we weren't allowed to have
swords.
Bloody
swords.
hell.
So we use brooms.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we use brooms
Yeah.
instead, and like you'd hold the it's very fun.
Bloody English not letting you have swords.
No,
Uh,
or our own language, but you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the most famous example, the most famous example of Irish dancing being
Obviously,
river dance,
River dance.
Yeah.
which
Yes.
was a Eurovision
That's what-
interval act from
That's 30
1994.
this year.
Yeah, it's
That's
30
right.
years
That's
old.
correct. Yeah.
In those 30 years, they've had 15,000 shows across 49 countries in front of 30 million people, and they have grossed over $1 billion in that time.
And Michael Flatley wasted all that money on that Blackbird
Yeah.
film.
Oh, and not slowing down either, because post-COVID they've reported profits of $2 million.
Look at that.
What?
Still
Yeah.
going?
Who
And then-
who could be bothered?
The only other thing
Yeah,
I
well, they
have,
changed the shows out, and they have different.
yeah.
It's more cultural now because they we went to. I remember
World
going to
dance
see
and
it.
shit, like
And they had flamenco and things like that in it as well, so it's
Right.
not just
no-
Irish dancing and people
Okay.
doing fucking shillelagh and shit.
only other thing I have then is when it was released in cinemas in America, they included a tosser's glossary, which explains some Irish terms like tosser, poxy, ride, gobshite, bollocks, bleeding, and rapid.
Fucking hell.
Okay. John?
Where'd they go all that? Wilson Pickett died in 9th of January 2006. The most expensive drum kit ever sold was Ringo Starr's Ludwig drum kit for 1.3 million. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money.
Peace and love, peace and love. Yeah.
Needle and Pins, the most successful version was the 1964 song by The Searchers, went to number 1 in the United Kingdom, and according to Primestone Insight, if you want a quarter page, basically an ad in a local paper, it'll cost you £250, but if you want an advert in the Daily Mail, it'll cost you around 30 grand for a full page advert. Fuck that.
And your soul.
Aye,
will also
pretty much,
cost you.
aye.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's me, mate.
The lad skateboarding in the scene where they are doing the
He's
auditions for the band.
He's at the window. isn't
is the little kid from the cover of U2's War album.
Yeah.
Peter
He
Rowan.
went on to become a pro skateboarder.
he? Yeah, he had
Oh,
a
really?
skateboard
Yeah.
show at the time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about
I
him.
might have played his
Yeah.
game. Peter Rowan Pro Skater. Finally, a swan tease made will cost you 75 quid at Argos, but you can't have one because they're only for Tories.
Jesus.
There's a mention of my mammy wants a swan
Stephen
wants a tease
Gately
mate.
also goes on the list of celebrities who
yeah,
choked on their own vomit.
Kira has a list of celebrities who choked on their own
Oh yeah,
vomit.
because there was
Oh,
Mama
George,
Cass.
so there was,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Not
no,
true.
she did not do that. She died of complications due to the weight loss pills that her management company were forcing her to take.
But that's what he says. He says Mama Cass, and they have a big argument about it. And I was like, it's not right. It's
That was
absolutely
the
not
story
right.
that was put out was that she choked to death on a sandwich.
Ham sandwich.
Yeah. Not the fact that she was dangerously like malnourished and stuff like that, because they kept telling her that she was fat, and that was all that mattered. Even though and then killed Karen Carpenter after that.
And the best one.
So who else choked on vomit then?
Jimi Hendrix, who was also 27.
Yep. 27 Club.
Because 4 of them are in the 27 Club as well. Brian Jones was in the 27 Club. Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, John Bonham, Bon Scott, Tommy Dorsey, and Stephen Gately from Boyzone.
Right.
Yeah.
It also died choking on vomit.
I was going to say fantastic. Not fantastic. Not fantastic at all. But it is what it is. Yeah, that's absolutely everything I've got. So, Mono and Ciara, do you want to have a guess at how many we ended on?
78.
Oh, John, can you go higher than 78?
103.
Oh, bit racist, but okay. Higher, please.
I told you I have no idea that bloody accent again.
Here,
Higher?
I'll let you have the next guess.
What, is it higher or lower?
Higher than
Well-
103.
It's 103 actually.
I don't know, 121?
Oh, you've spunked it, Ciara. 109.
A
Jesus.
respectable
Well
score.
done
Nice.
to all.
That
of
was good.
us.
No, well done.
Fantastic. Of course, let's introduce you to the most important band, and that is the Patrons. On the cargo shorts, it's Big Dean. Bass guitar is Joe. Designing the t-shirts is Candy. Tucking into the rider, it's Kieran. Having a go on your mam, it's Jake. On the spoons is Oodles. On the wheels of steel, it's CD Rob Jones. Sending a letter from America, it's Maria. Getting the pints of mild in, it's Megan. Manning the merch table, it's Dale and Ali. Dueling theremins is Jenny and James. On the bottles of Bruin, it's Gadget. On the Ocarina of Time is Biggie. Playing a slightly detuned synthesizer is Ian Graham. Shouting like a cunt, it's Gav McGill. Bringing the stylophone back is Aaron. Slapping his knees in time, Paul Parks. Banging on a dustbin lid is Ian McComish. Balalaika, I hardly knew her, it's Phil Fairish. Didgeridon't, it's Gavin Dan Belson. Snake Charming with a Punji is Emily. The Richard Andor Alison Hammond organ player is Stig. Yebar, Naybar more like, it's Josh Wilson. Ian McComish just got a news flute for his birthday. And Nigel Davis is playing a saw. There you go. So thank you to all those wonderful people who give us money, who've got more money than fucking sense. There you go. Fantastic. Mono and Ciara, tout your wares. How often do they say that to you?
Wares?
Down the
We don't have
down
any-
the docks.
Yeah, that's where I hear it. We
Up the Monto.
don't have any podcast wares to sell. Just go and listen to our podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Mono Rants at the Movies and Mono Rants at the Boys. Definitely worth listening to. When's the Boys landing on Amazon?
June 13th.
There you go. So by the time you listen to this, it will be a month away. And you will, when you get your shit together, usually a couple of weeks after you start doing... Once you've watched the series 3 times, you tend to...
That was for Gen V because of the strikes.
That was because of the strikes for
this,
season
we will
4.
be doing the whole insanity.
The whatever day an episode comes out. Well, the first
It'll be the day after.
first 3 episodes are going to come out all on the same day, and we're going to have our first episode up hopefully on the same day, and then the next 2 days for the first 3 episodes, and then the day after each episode goes up, we should have our own episodes up.
Right.
And we will pray for Mono that week. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you so much. John, anything to say to the lovely people?
Yeah, so...
Because last week, for some reason, this bit cut out on the recording.
know. I had
And you didn't have
nothing to
anything to say.
say.
You just
I didn't have a
vanished.
thing to say.
You just vanished from the podcast. And it was the best bit of the podcast.
Microphone. So, super familiar with Wilson's has put a segment on called What the Fuck is John Saying? So he's asked me to send him Scottish phrases and Scottish things to say, and his guests have to, or his listeners have to guess what I'm actually saying. So that was interesting.
Go and give that a listen. Go and listen to John say.
Somebody else. Go and listen to somebody else. Go that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Good stuff. Just a quick reminder: get your tickets for Megacon on the 17th of August, when we'll be talking about Shrek. We have loads of merch and bits and pieces to sell, but more importantly, we want you there at the recording of that one. Mono and Ciara, you can't make it because it's Mono's birthday, so we will record it and put it out.
Yeah.
But if you want to be part of that recording, please come and join us. It's £5 a ticket. You get to watch some wrestling and some other live bits and pieces. There's going to be loads of cosplay competitions and stuff like that. If you like that kind of stuff, you're going to love this. And for a £5, you can't beat it. We'll have an after show somewhere in a pub, but we haven't figured that out. It's Carlisle. There's fucking loads of them. We'll be all right. But for now, thank you so much to our guests, and thank you to everyone that's been listening. They've been MonoRants at the Movies. He's been John. I've been Planty, and this has been 109 things we learned from the commitments, not including Elvis isn't actually a Cajun. Well, I guess it'll be 110 then, isn't it? See ya.
See you guys.